guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about D3, and they just made a post on their social media discussing the 3.5 liter V6 8th generation Camry, the turbo kit they are making. There's a lot of rumors, there's been a lot of information from other Camry owners of this generation about this turbo kit, how much horsepower, how much it's going to cost. We learned a little bit of information today directly from D3 that it's direct bolt-on. I'll be reading just from the comments and from the just some of the things they said on the post. Be a single comp turbos T3 T4 hybrid, it's completely oilless, water cooled, so no oil lines and no taping oil pans. That's from a direct comment from D3 on their post on Facebook. I'm going to have some pictures up on the screen from D3 and from their Facebook page. Today I'm going to be talking about whether I'm going to get this turbo kit from D3. Is it worth it? And, you know, ultimately, am I going to get it? Now, according to D3, it's going to be an oilless single turbo. According to other sources, it's going to add about 100 horsepower. I could be wrong on the figure, but around maybe 100 horsepower, maybe less, maybe a little more. Don't hold me to that exact number. But in general, cost-wise, between $8,000 to $10,000. That's just my estimate. I've heard some of the, some of those numbers being thrown around online. And it seems like a lot of money, but to wake this car up, I think that's what it needs. But ultimately, am I going to get it? Now, I have a intake exhaust D3 tune, which you can see right here on my 18 XSE V6. Will I get this, and what do I think, ultimately, do I think it's going to sell? Number one, I probably won't get the kit. Flat out, I don't want to spend that much money on this car. A lot of people are going to say in the comments, well, you probably don't have the money to spend. That is right now a little bit of a factor. I don't feel like spending 10 grand, and I probably won't install it myself. I'm handy around a car, but not that handy to install a whole new turbo system on the car. I'd probably bring it to a shop here in New Jersey. So the short answer, I probably won't get the kit unless I see great things with it. It would make for good content for the channel, but ultimately, I don't think I'm going to spend the money unless it was 150, 200 wheel horsepower gain. And also, do I think the kit is going to be successful? So obviously D3 knows not, less than, I'd say, my best guess is less than 2% of all Camry V6 owners are going to buy this turbo kit. Just because, number one, you're going to void the warranty. Number two, you're not even, let's say you gain less than 100 horsepower for 10 grand or 8 grand or even 7 grand. I don't think it's worth it unless you're seeing huge gains. Number two, you don't know how the transmission is going to hold up with the extra power. And number three, ultimately, you don't know how well the internals are going to hold up. Obviously, D3 is going to test these things, but my concerns are the transmission, the internals, the injection system, a couple other things under the hood. I don't know if that's going to hold up. So there's a lot of ifs and worries. I mean, if you do this to your V6 XSE, ultimately, is your transmission going to hold up? It's going to have, that's why ultimately, maybe people are going to say in the comments, 75 horsepower, that's all the transmission can really hold up to. The long-lasting effects of that extra power and that system are going to be on the car. I don't want the car to blow up after a year. Not saying it will, but anything's possible with these new kits. It hasn't been tested. I'd really like to see D3 do extensive testing on the system and see how the car behaves with it for a long period of time. That's why I'll probably wait if I do pull the trigger. But me personally, I don't see the, number one, you're going to void your warranty. And number two, Toyota's going to be, Toyota, you're going to go to the dealership if something goes wrong. They're going to say, you completely changed the whole. That's just the way I am. I'm a little nervous with that type of stuff because I don't want to void the warranty 100%. I already voided it with the exhaust and maybe the tune. But I don't want to just flat out do a turbo kit and then have something go completely wrong and I have to foot the bill. Not saying I don't put trust in D3. I do trust D3, but I'd like to see some extensive testing. I'd like to see a couple things be done before I put the money into this. So ultimately, to wrap up, do I think this is going to be worth it, and will it sell? Number one, we'll have to see more information ultimately to see if this turbo kit, which doesn't look that hard to install, we'll have to wait for more hard numbers, price and horsepower gains, and ultimately that will be the deciding factor. So this is just my initial impressions on the information coming out from D3. It looks like a very well thought out kit. It's not like they just put it together overnight. They've been doing a lot of extensive research and testing through this. I just want to wait for some harder numbers to make a decision and to see ultimately if this will sell. If they make it with over 100 wheel horsepower gain and between $6,000 to $7,000, I think, yes, it would be worth it. But any less horsepower and any more of a price, I don't think it's going to be worth it. So this was just my speculation. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you have any information, input, more information, am I missing something? Put it down in the comments below, and we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.